Well, hello everyone. We are here uh, in the future after the world has fallen apart because of zombies. We are going to play ourselves some, The Walking Dead universe, as part of our kind of loosely connected series of little tales and short stories about the end of the world with biters. Hey, Misha, how is the apocalypse treating you?
It's going poorly. My companions are all really dumb and they never listen to my great ideas. I was telling Cyril repeatedly that we shouldn't have let that guy into our camp, and everything has gone to bits. Um, Grace is smart. She has experience in the medical field, probably some kind of doctor, was well off before, the zombie apocalypse started happening, and is hanging out with these two guys here. So that's about all we need. Let's see. My issue as far as mechanics go in this game is that I think I am better than them,
Yes.
which I am. Yeah, and I guess my best stat is wits. Doctor. You know how to do doctor things. It's helpful.
Yeah.
Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin or sinful underscore underscore potato. And I'm playing Lucy, who, can't read and dropped out of school because of my mother's addiction, but that doesn't matter anymore. And I may not look the prettiest or whatnot, but at least I feed the group because I'm a great hunter and great scavenger. And these other two, they were all bickering about that one guy. But there was a potato left behind. At least he left the potato. It may have like a little bit of eye sticking out of it, but still fine. Um, my issue is that I'm about to have a breakdown, which is accurate. And I'm a scavenger, so I can scavenge things.
Yeah.
And my highest skill, I guess, is agility. So I'm a sneaky son of a biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I am playing Cyril, and my biggest issue is that there are no barbers in the apocalypse, and also that I believe all human lives are sacred, which is quite an awkward thing when there are zombies about.
Are they human lives? Do you
Oh,
know?
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't tried to hug one yet, but
Well, they have
it's
tried to
never.
hug you.
My greatest strength is my empathy.
Yes. For zombies. Cool. That will definitely serve you well. So yes, a little bit of background. We are using the Walking Dead universe, which is actually, if you have watched our Alien game, same system basically, a little bit of change. So it's the Free League system, really really cool, really really good. They just recently came out. We helped kickstart the Walking Dead universe, which is a Free League game based in the Walking Dead universe, as it sounds. We are taking liberties, obviously. We're not being necessarily super, like, you're not going to see Michonne or Daryl or any of those people show up. You absolutely can do that. That's one of the very nice things about this particular game is if you want to kind of do a fanfic style of games set in the Walking Dead universe, you absolutely can do that. We are simply using it as a really, really strong, good, easy to pick up, easy to play rule system to tell something that's a bit more like our own kind of zombie apocalypse tale. So is everyone already infected with the zombie disease? We don't know. Are there people who are immune to the zombie disease? So is it more like Last of Us? We don't know. Or at least you guys don't know. Will there be zombies that are on fire and zombies that spit acid and zombies that are fast zombies and slow zombies and big chubby zombies and stuff? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Cool. So where are we? Table talk. Writer's room. Where do we think we are?
We
The
are
woods.
2 or 3 days having fled the compound where we last were, and we are in the middle of nowhere with no idea.
Okay, so where were you holed up before? Was it like in an urban or suburban area? Had you gone out to like somewhere isolated?
Maybe an abandoned building, but was like close to the woods where there's still some like sort of creature thingies that you could hunt that I hunted beautifully.
So like maybe a warehouse? Oh, how about like an auto shop?
One of like, yeah, that sounds reasonable.
So like
Like on, go ahead.
no, keep going.
Well, it's probably like a small town or something that's like, in between a couple of smaller towns close to some nearby woods before, if you left town, you go that way or something like that, So not too much else around,
Cool.
but enough stuff there.
Cool. So what was it that ran you out of your former hideout in the auto shop?
Well, Cyril let some people in, obviously,
Okay.
because
Was
can't
it
not
Cyril or
help
Lucy?
people.
Oh, I guess it was Cyril because Cyril believes
It
all life.
was Cyril.
Maybe
Yeah.
Lucille was like, "Hey, look at this dude. He has a potato." And Grace was like, "That's crazy, Lucille." And Cyril was like, "Wait, but like all life is sacred and we have to protect people." And then Potato Man came in and stole all your stuff and ran you off, maybe? Told you that if he ever saw you around
Yeah.
again, that he would kill you or stake you out and leave you for the biters.
Yeah.
Turns out not so nice a guy.
And instead of fighting back, because we probably could have taken the two of them, Cyril's like, no, they can have it. They need it more than us.
But no, we can't fight. So
Yeah,
you know,
he had
Go ahead.
he had a quote unquote pregnant wife, but even though the pregnant wife just had like a belly that was the sack of potatoes, they
Oh,
needed it more.
yeah. So they've been running this scam, and it turns out that they're kind of like Bonnie and Clyde situation, running out do-gooders out into the woods so they can party it up in your old. And I will say, just to make things difficult, it was clear that they were like advanced scouts for some sort of roving group. Because like maybe you guys were sticking around a little bit, like maybe they pulled guns and you guys ran out to hide a little bit, and you were thinking about ways that you could maybe wait until they leave and then go back in and lock them out or something. And then a couple of vehicles pulled up that maybe you didn't see exactly how many, but there's at least a couple of other individuals who have now taken over your shop. And you are out in the woods. Cool. So how many days have you been out in the woods?
This is the 3rd day.
So that's 2 days of living rough. Cool. Hey, so who wants to see how good you have been? I think with survival is a really good thing to do. And I think probably, what kind of weapons do you have on you? What kind of weapons were you able, and items and things were you able to take with you? Or maybe you had them stashed outside just in case.
Well, according to my character sheet here, I probably always keep on my person a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, mirrored sunglasses, a steel comb, and styling gel, because I will look fashionable underneath all this dirt.
Sure.
My weapon is an axe, which we probably grabbed on the way out because
Easy enough.
seems like a thing to do.
And maybe
Other than that, probably didn't bring too much else.
Cool. Yeah. I'm just wondering if anyone has any weapons that are good for like hunting for food.
I, in fact, have a revolver, so it's a terrible weapon for hunting for food,
Yeah.
and a hammer,
And a
which
hammer.
is also a terrible weapon for
I mean,
hunting
it's
for
better
food.
than a revolver.
Could hunt a potato.
Good. Lucille, you're the hunter. Do you have
I
a weapon that's actually suitable for hunting?
Yeah, I have a knife and a revolver. The knife is good. I also have a can opener, which in some cases could use as a weapon because, it has a tiny little blade, and if you have like a squirrel or something, you can try to.
Yeah.
Open up the skull.
And then also got some and clean towels, which could be dirtied up by trying to suffocate something with it too. So
All right. Well, so how are you going about taking care of the basics? I mean, it is 100 days into the apocalypse. You have been lucky so far, but you are very aware that just like you can't just go live in the woods. You need water, you need food, you need shelter. So during those prior 2 days, since we established this as the third day, what have folks been doing? What has been your focus of trying to see to it that you can survive?
Remember my old Girl Scout training? We're following directions. We're looking for water sources like the river that's supposed to run your town. I'm sure it wasn't that far away. And finding probably not poisonous mushrooms.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a wit survival. What is Lucille doing?
5, 6, 7. This is so many dice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Lucille would be trying to like hunt little creatures, like if there's like any little rabbits or squirrels still running about or like hiding in trees to try to
Stab them.
murder them.
And you can throw your knife, right? That might work.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and give me then agility. Well, are you trying to like peg squirrels on the tree with your knife? Or are you trying to like run after them and stab them? Because it's different skills.
Probably run and stab.
Okay. Give me a strength coast combat. Grace, what was the result of your roll?
I have 1 success.
Cool. You found some okay water and a few mushrooms. So it's sparse. It's scant. It's enough to keep folks from like really deteriorating, but it's just like barely enough. And Cyril, what are you doing?
I spent most of my time trying to start a fire. I have a flashlight with a reflector in it, so I've been trying to redirect
Ooh.
sunlight to wood.
Yeah, let's oh, I don't know. That's definitely a wits, but is it wits tech or wits survival? I think it's survival because you're trying to like use the parabolic thing for the sun, which is not necessarily like technology.
Should have shorted the battery. And that is no successes.
Okay. Cool.
I
So
got
no fire.
close. I've wrapped a stick with some old t-shirts so that I will have a torch once it's lit, and then we can carry it everywhere. It's just that the lighting bit is a bit hard.
Yeah. Well, and also maybe you've been cautious because lit fires can attract things, people and otherwise. Hey, Lucille, how did your hunting go?
So I got close in the sense that I got 1 5, but I also got 2 1s.
But you didn't get any sixes.
No.
Yeah. So it turns out that chasing squirrels on an empty stomach is maybe not easy to do. Also, they can just go up the tree where you can't reach. So for the past 2 days, you've had a little bit of muddy water and some mushrooms and stuff that Grace has found, proving once again that Grace is the best of all of you. So I'm going to need everyone to take a stress die. And you don't have a fire. Take 2 stress die. Because you are hungry, you are thirsty, you are cold, you are damp. It has not been fun out in the woods. It is also, I think, quite apparent to all of you that your dreams of just living off the land in the woods are not coming true. And you're going to have to change up your tactics relatively quickly, because another day or two and you won't have the energy to do much of anything. So, you are gathered around, I don't know, a stump.
Are not campfire. The idea of a campfire.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you piled up, some fallen sticks and branches and some leaves and stuff to create a little bit of a bivouac. So it's not like you are completely sleeping on the ground like dummies, but it's just not a great situation. So after the grumbling of your stomachs and the parchedness of your lips wakes you up early in the morning, being tempted to kind of lick the lichen, the kind of dewy lichen on the trees. Actually, that's actually not a bad thing to do. Just to try to slake your parched throats. What happens? What's the conversation like?
This isn't working. This isn't working at all. Lucille, have you ever considered setting snared traps instead of chasing squirrels?
I have not thought about that, no.
It's fine. It's fine. We don't have that much material anyway.
Look, we can't stay here. There's no food here. There's 1 or 2 mushrooms and that's it. And we can't go back because those people are back there. And there are more than 1 or 2 of them. We have to move on. We have to find some urban area where there's canned food and we can find bottled water, just even a residential house or anywhere. We just need to find a place where people kept actual supplies, not some park.
Well, I mean, at this point, don't you think all the usual spots would have been hit up? As far as going into the cities, I mean, we were lucky enough to find the car shop where we did. And their amazing amount of prepper food that they had left behind. They had a lot of canned food there.
Even if we do find a place that's been hit up, we might find other survivors, good people who can help us, who can share with us, and we can contribute to the group, and society can heal. I believe it. I really do.
Just like those people. The good of society right there, huh?
Look, I admit they looked a little sketchy, but we had to try. We can't just turn our backs on everybody.
At this point, Grace is kind of going to drop this because I think she's had this kind of discussion with Cyril before. So,
Certainly 2 or 3
It's
times a
kinda
day
sad.
for the past 3 days, yes.
Yes.
Grace wants to live, all 3 of us, in the woods forever. She wants to grow old and die, just the 3 of us. That is clearly long-term planning.
Yeah. I mean, we could definitely die in the woods. Maybe not very long in the future.
It
Well,
definitely read, or not read, but like seen the picture books, and there's like little houses in the woods. We could build those. live happily ever after. Until a wolf comes along and blows it all down.
Some sort of tourist chalet type thing.
I mean, we probably aren't too far. Like, how far have we gone? It can't be too far from the old campsites, right?
There might
We
be a
went.
park ranger or something near the entrance. They must have a station, right?
They had a station, I assume, but they probably also had supplies.
A gift shop.
Yeah, maybe there's astronaut ice cream.
Fanciest ice cream around.
Cool.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we should go there. So,
Well, it'll
or
be
try to go there.
so. Grace recalls that somewhere in this area, you're not quite sure. You're not quite sure where you are, but you know that, like, you've seen the signs for a campground, and not just like the place where RVs would park. Although there was definitely an RV park nearby, but the kind of place that had like cabins and stuff on a little lake, and under the assumption that there's probably something out there, and if nothing else, it's shelter. Now the question is going to be, how do you get there? Where are you?
We're by a river, and the lake is by a campsite, right? Maybe the river flows into the lake. Do you remember, Grace?
Of course I remember, Grace says confidently, trying to remember.
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be Scout in this case, because Scout is a little bit more about like figuring out, like observing things, but also like figuring out where you are. I think that's right. Because survival is more like what you've been doing, finding food, what's the water, finding water that's potable. I think that's right. And if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So, Scout with.
Oh, it's always bits. Yeah.
Okay.
And Scout is also good at like for like perception kind of stuff. But I think in this case it makes sense. Yeah, figuring out the area and whether it's safe, that kind of stuff.
Never dropped so many dice on the ground. But
And remember to roll
I
your
did
2 stress dice.
I got a success on the stress die. Exciting for me.
Yay!
That's one success.
And no ones on the stress die?
No one's on the stress
Boo.
dice.
I need to give you more stress.
I know. Exactly.
So you rolled a whole crap ton of dice, but got 1 success, which is great.
Yep.
I'm going to say that you think about it a little bit and you're like, oh yeah, probably. I mean, if we follow the river, well, really more like a stream, but if you follow it, that should lead to the lake. And then I think you realize, just based on the mental map, the river, the lake with the campground is actually probably upstream.
Right.
Just because you remember it's kind of in a hilly area, and what you know about, and you guys have been wandering around this area a little bit as you try to forage and stuff. You know that it's on a slope downward, kind of down into a valley, and you kind of orient yourself and go, yeah, we actually have to head. You're not sure if like following the stream will actually go up there, but you know you have to go up a little bit into the hillier area. So good job.
Up to the hills.
Well done. So you're going to be traveling. Hey, so who is on what kind of duty? Like, what are folks doing? What is your SOP for when you're traveling from spot to spot? Like, are you being super sneaky? Is someone going going a little bit ahead to like, scope things out first, and then everyone else is falling behind? Are you all just kind of like strolling down the middle of Main Street? Like, how do you approach traveling in a world full of raiders and zombies?
Well, since we're in the woods, it's probably slightly less sneaky than before, but we certainly aren't like I trying not to make too much noise because you probably don't know when a zombie's going to show up.
That's true.
I don't know if I think Grace says it's probably best if we all stay together because there aren't many of us. So it's no one's going to get caught off guard. I don't know if Lucille agrees or not. I assume Sarah will. But if someone else wanted to scout ahead, it's not like Grace will stop you. Grace will just be like, I told them we should stay together. That's all.
I mean,
Lucille will stay with the pack,
okay.
I'm
but
going to
try
be
to be more sneaky.
I'm going to be trying to keep an eye out in the river for fish as we pass by. I have no idea what would happen if we find one, but
Cool.
it's
Give
worth
me,
a shot.
give me a scout. Wit scout.
One success,
Cool. And no ones on your stress dice.
not on my stress dice.
Cool. Yeah. You're actually kind of I mean, maybe it's because your tummy is grumbling, but you are kind of fixated, and you see a number of fish, like kind of in the shallows. Like, you're not quite sure exactly how one would go about it, but I would even say you've seen documentaries and stuff. You probably think that if you had a sharp stick, you might run a fair chance of spearing one.
I'm going to be very, very silent and point wildly to try and get everybody's attention. And I'm going to wade into the river downstream of the fish, like far enough away that they're not going to startle. I'm going to sort of try and block for whoever belly flops on top of them or whatever they do.
Cool. So you are kind of trying to like shoo the fish up into a shallow area for someone else to try to spear. Is that what I interpreted? Did I get that right?
Sure.
Cool.
I look at Lucille.
Cyril gestures and does this, and then starts wading off into the water, and literally, like, yeah, and it's working.
Lucy goes to stab with knife.
Cool. Would Grace, since you're directing, and we're just going to explore some of the mechanics, would you like to like aim Lucille and give Lucille very precise instructions about what to do?
Yes.
And
I
like,
would.
hold on a second, you should probably take my bootlace, tie your knife to a stick, because you can't just go in and stab it, because there's a little bit of conversation as Cyril is getting wetter and wetter. Cool. Well, you know what? That is worth some assist dice. So Cyril, for kind of shooing the fish into a better position for someone to stab them, and Grace for being, you can assist, or you could try a leadership role. The good news with the leadership role is that every success that you have, you can add to the other person. Up to 3, I think.
I mean, I have none leadership, but that's fine.
But your empathy is high-ish.
It's 3.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
not
it's okay.
that good.
I mean, it's pretty darn good. It's higher than average.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try the leadership role because why shouldn't we induce chaos?
Yeah. And it goes in your stress die roll too.
Oh, wow.
So it's actually 5 dice.
I got 2 successes.
Ooh, cool. So, Lucille, you'll be rolling with 3 extra dice. And it's going to be strength close combat. Yeah. I know it's a lot.
A real stress die too, right?
Yes, always.
What does a 6 on a stress die mean?
A success.
Okay.
Just like any other one.
Okay. So I got, for the regular dice, I got 3 successes, so 3 6s. And on the stress die, I got 1 6.
So a total of 4 successes. Right?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. I will say that you take a good, like just the first shot is really awesome. You get one, and then you realize that, if you wait a few minutes and coordinate your activities, you can harvest 4 fish that you can eat raw or try to make a fire. And perhaps at this point you're like, why didn't we do this before? We've been sitting here with like
Wait a minute.
a handful of mushroom and lichen, and we could have been having fish dinner. You could have had fish and chips with that one lumpy potato that guy left you.
Yeah, we could have. And all the oil that we're going to find.
Yes. So you have 4 fish. You don't have to do anything about it right now. I mean, you know that they won't keep forever, and because you stabbed them, it's not like you can put them in a bucket of water. Not that you have a bucket of water, but you know what I'm saying. Probably. Hey, Lucille, you are the scavenger. Why don't you give me a wit survival. With your stress dice. Always with the stress dice.
1 success. That was on the stress die.
Cool. Yeah, the success doesn't matter what die it's on. It's only when you roll a walker, which is a 1 on a stress die, that things get really weird. You know enough. Yeah, maybe you saw it in a picture book. You know enough, or you went fishing sometime in your childhood, that you need to gut and clean them. And you do. You real quick gut the fish, and you rub the guts out on rocks and in the water and stuff like that, and then kind of string them up on a stick. And so now you got some 4 big fat, I don't know, whatever lives in lakes. Trout. I mean, not lakes, streams. Probably not salmon. This isn't quite the right part of the world for salmon, I suppose. But some sort of lovely fish that, assuming that you can make some fire. And, you can eat it raw. It's not like it'll probably kill you. But you think you probably need to do something about it relatively quickly. Hey. Yeah. Problem is, as all this is happening, you are chumming the water. So I think I'll just use that major vein that Katie gave us. Thank you so much, Katie. So something about the fish guts in the water and fish guts on the ground and the sounds of fish being gutted attracts some attention. So yeah. Hey, why doesn't everyone roll a d6 for me? And just tell me what number you get.
3.
Roll it again.
Three.
What? Okay. Okay. Oh, so which that's actually makes sense. So Cyril is still uh like a little bit downstream from you guys. And this is probably like not like you're fishing a bunch and then gutting them. Like you're probably grab a fish, gut it, wash it out, and then wait for the whole situation to repeat itself. So this is, taking, a good 30, 45 minutes. Cyril, you are downstream a bit from everyone as the guts and stuff wash down around you. Hey, Grace, would you give me a scout, please?
Two success.
Yes. So I'm going to say, hear a little crashing through the woods, kind of downstream and actually on the other side of the stream than where you and Lucille are. And it's enough to attract your attention. And you see a zombie shambling out of the woods at a decent clip towards Cyril. What happens?
Cyril, zombie! And I point vigorously. Behind you!
I turn around and start peering up the bank, trying to see whatever it is.
Oh, it's real close. Yeah. It's not within range to bite you at the moment, but it's literally just like lurching out of the woods towards you. By the time you kind of turn around, it's starting to stumble into the stream.
And then I yelp and start running.
Cool. Give me agility, mobility, please. Oh, add a stress die because you're being attacked by a zombie. That was just for Cyril. If he gets bitten, then Grace and Lucille get to add one too.
I think I do get bitten.
You don't know.
I have got a 1 on my stress die and no successes.
Oh. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that you get bitten, but something terrible is going to happen to you. Yay. Now, I will say you can push. Because you're not fighting it. You're trying to get away from it. So you can push the roll. It means you have to add another stress die and like redouble it. Like maybe you start to slip and you're like, oh no. But that little burst of adrenaline from realizing it's about to get you can get you to push that roll if you'd like. But that means adding one more stress die.
Sure. No stress, but I don't get any successes. I'm trying to scramble up a vertical bank at this point, trying to just get up and over, so that it can't climb after me.
Yeah, so you're, yes. Well, good job. So it only cost you a couple points of stress. Yeah, your shoes or boots are real wet. Your pants are real wet. It's like it's heavy. The water's relatively cold, so your legs are a little bit numb. You hadn't really thought about it, but you are not in a good position to move quickly. So yeah, it is actually going to, I will say Grace or Lucille have a chance to do something as it closes in on Cyril. And for
But I have
fun,
to be nice to it.
yeah, for fun, this is a hunter. They've got, I mean, they still have their cap on. They have the little high vis on. And I would even say they probably have around their waist a quiver. It doesn't have, and maybe has like one arrow in it. because they've been wandering around bumping into trees and stuff, so most of it's gone. But this was probably a bow hunter that was out here and got. Not that long ago. He's pretty juicy.
I want to shoot them in their face.
Cool. So you're gonna pull out your gun and fire?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is absolutely an agility range combat.
Since
Does
this is a
the
hunt
plus
and it's wearing high vis bright orange.
Yeah.
May Lucille get a bonus die?
No.
Oh.
I mean,
does the
it was
plus-
high vis, but it's all covered in gore. That kind of black, brown, red zombie gunk. Go ahead, Lucille.
What does the +2 bonus mean?
Plus 2 dice.
Okay. So what am I rolling again? Sorry.
You're rolling agility range combat plus 2 dice. Plus all your stress. That's why I said you need all the d6s. These pools can get big. And it'd be really interesting if you rolled a 1 on one of your stress dice. You should definitely do that.
One success.
Cool. And no ones on your stress dice?
Nope.
Cool. Yes, go ahead and roll 2d6 for damage.
Do I roll stress with that too? Or
No. Oh no, it's not 2d6. That's right.
Oh.
Different system. Yeah, you just blast a hole in it. And it I'm gonna say you catch it kind of like right underneath the cheekbone as it starts to lunge towards Cyril. And then like the back of its head disappears and then it falls down on Cyril and starts kind of like bearing Cyril under the water. Cyril, what you doing?
I think I'm crying at this point. A human is just being killed right in front of me. I am covered in fish cuts below the knee and human guts above the knee.
I mean, you can take another stress if you want. I mean, you don't have to.
I'm going to push it off and scramble towards Lucille and hope she doesn't shoot me too.
Yeah. So you're as it falls on you, you're briefly knocked underwater, but you eventually like kind of push off. It starts floating down the little stream. You come up completely wet, bits and pieces of zombie hair and skull all over you. You look a bit of a mess. Lucille, another zombie is coming out of the river. No, it's fine. So what happens?
Are you okay?
I've never seen someone die so close to me before. I mean, I've seen plenty of death since, but it was right there. I was looking into his eyes when. No, I'm not.
He wasn't alive. He wasn't alive, Cyril. He's been dead. We just made him what he should have been.
Grace, he was moving. He was making sounds. He could have recovered one day. He was alive. I know that this is your coping mechanism. I know that you need to believe that somehow humanity is doomed. But, Grace, humans deserve respect. He was a father, or a brother, and he was definitely a son.
Definitely the last one. I don't know. I assume then a little family photo like falls out of a pocket and floats down the river, so you can see that in a poignant shot.
Yes, of course.
Of course, as you're saying that, yes.
I will. Yeah, it floats down, and it kind of lodges on a rock, and you can see, and the water cuts over, so it flips the little photo album, so you can see. Yeah, actually, big family. Lots of brothers and sisters and cousins and stuff like that. Looks like they like to go out and hunt as a family. In fact.
Uh-oh.
Look,
Well,
when we started fishing, I was going to suggest that we continue on and just cook the fish when we got there. But I'm soaked through. It'd be quite nice to start a fire, and I could warm off, and we could cook the fish and just get all our ducks in a row before we continue on. If that's all right with you guys.
Let's move a little bit upstream, but then we can stop. Surely they won't notice if we're just a few 100 yards down the way.
yeah, it's probably fine.
It's probably fine. I'm definitely going to light a cigarette to be cool after this.
Yes.
As cool people do.
So, fun fact: there is a threat level mechanic, and sometimes things happen, like when you shoot guns in the woods that raise the threat level because everyone can hear it. But it's fine. I think that as characters, you know that there's a risk of any kind of loud noise. It seems like the zombies can. It doesn't seem like they can see very well, but it does seem like they hear okay and can smell you out. Eesh. So yeah. But yeah, I will say, you know, as long as you're willing to travel a bit, you can find a spot that seems to be reasonably safe and defensible. Want to try to start that fire again there, Cyril?
Yeah, hold on. I lend him my lighter.
And
the lighter I've had this whole time.
Right. Yeah, you light a cigarette. It's like, I wish we had a fire too. There's just nothing I can do to help you. Oh. So yes, you light a little fire. Cyril, you don't have to make an endure roll. You're able
This
to
was definitely just a power move to see that I know how to make fire with a lighter, but Cyril said he'd make the fire, and I'm like, all right. See how you do. They need me. Of course they do.
Yeah,
The only thing I'm going to do is huddle close to the fire.
Yeah.
I'm not taking any actions.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's probably going to take a couple of hours, Cyril. Like you can prop your jacket up on some sticks near the fire to let it dry out. I mean, if you really want to dry out, you're going to have to get into your skivvies.
As the clothing dries, I can smell the blood gets richer and richer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little rank. But the fish smells good. I mean, unseasoned fish cooked over a fire on a stick isn't necessarily the most delicious thing, but when all you've had is dirty water and questionable mushrooms for a couple of days, it is definitely a feast. You kind of have to resist eating it too fast and like burning your fingers in your mouth, but the combination of protein and fat your body immediately responds to. And you immediately all feel a lot better. Although, for 3 really hungry people, 4 fish is not that much. But it's good protein, good fat. You're probably good for another day, just on that meal. Cool.
But not good enough to like reduce stress.
No.
would we have to have some sort of heartfelt conversation, perhaps, to reduce someone's stress?
You can have heartfelt conversations. I think spending time finding or making a secure place where you can literally like spend a day not having to worry about stuff is the best way to reduce stress. But yes, you have things that you care about. You have an opportunity to have conversations or do things that can reduce stress. So I think taking a break and having food is an opportunity that you could do something to reduce stress, but just eating isn't enough to reduce stress.
I'm gonna at some point when we are cooking the fish and Cyril's drying off, I'm gonna go over to Lucille and say, "Hey, maybe talk to Cyril about what's been going on. I think he's heard enough from me and my opinions about zombies and their personhood. So go cheer him up or something. He seems kind of shaken by all this." And I send Lucille that way while I mind the fish.
Yes. What is your empathy, by the way, there, Lucille?
3.
Okay, so it's not terrible.
All the stats are 3 except for agility, which is 4
Yeah.
for those top 4 things
Yeah.
that are bold and capitalized.
Your attributes, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. So how does that play out? Lucille, Grace tells you need to go and cheer up Cyril by convincing him that his desire to view zombies as human beings is stupid. I mean, she didn't
No,
say
that's
that,
just
but
what
that's
I think.
implied.
That's what I think.
Yes.
You can tell him whatever he needs to hear to feel better. I'm not going to fill his head with lies, though.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not doing this.
Yes.
Probably go over and like, wrap the arm around him, the other arm, be like, "Hey there, buddy. How's it going?"
Lucille, I am soaking wet and naked, and I just saw someone be killed in front of me. And you were the person to kill him. How do you think it's going?
You make a good point there. But think of it this way. This world is like a man eat dog world, or a dog eat man world, or
I had a dog
something
before this
like
started.
that, where we're all...
His name was Scout. It was a German Shepherd. I tried to teach him to fetch, but he was too clever for that and preferred to make up games to play with me instead.
Did you have to put your dog down, or did he run away, or something else less dramatic?
He was at home, and I went to work that morning, and then people started going mad, and I was 2 hours drive away from him. 2 hours. And I haven't seen him since. If one of the neighbors hasn't been to visit him, to let him out, then he's going to have starved to death. How hungry do you feel, Lucille? Can you imagine that? Just dying from that? Isn't that awful?
It is. But I'm sure if your neighbors knew that you had a dog and knew that things were going wild outside, they probably would have been like, "Oh, Cyril isn't back home yet. We should look out for Scout so that Scout is good and happy and whatnot." So they they were probably taking care of Scout, making him feel good. And that hunter guy, he wasn't feeling too good because he was had that zombie thing, or where they aren't sure they are like us, but there's also a part where they're like sick and hurting inside, and so like by shooting them or putting them to rest, so now they don't feel any more pain. It's okay now. They're happy now.
Euthanasia without informed consent is not okay. But I'm sure you're right about my neighbor. I believe the best in people, and I got on well with Mrs. Jenkins. I'm sure she'd be right around to. She dog sitted when we went on holiday, so I'm sure Scout will be fine.
Hey, Lucille.
Once all of this is over, we should definitely go find Scout, and then we'll be one big happy family.
Lucille, what you did shooting that man, I don't want you to do that again. Not for me. I don't want you to kill anyone, but don't you dare put my life above somebody else's. That's not how I want to live, and that's not how I want to die. Promise me.
I promise. Little pinky promise.
We pinky promise.
Cool. I mean, sure, that was real weird, but lose a point of stress, each of you. Although I think, honestly, now Lucille can't kill anyone, and Cyril is super focused on the likelihood that his dog is dead. So, but it's fine. Sometimes just talking things out, or at least taking a rest, is good enough. Cool. That plus the fish.
I do want, after their conversation and Lucille comes back, I'm like, oh, that seemed like it went well. Listen, Cyril is my best friend. I want you to do anything in your power to protect him from these zombies, all right? I wouldn't know what to do if he got hurt by one of those monsters. You understand, Lucille? Perfect.
Yes.
I knew I could count on you.
Pinky promise. I don't care who you have to kill or how many of them. Kill everyone or anything that looks at Cyril. Perfect. That's great. Lucille takes a million stress. And auto succeeds on everything because she has so many dice, but then also auto crit fails on everything too. It's great. This is why you're about to have a breakdown, by the way, Lucille. It's these people.
It's the two of them.
It's these people. So good. Yeah. Yep. But you have your fish. It's all good. Yeah, and the family shows up. You hear some more crashing, kind of down in the general area where you were before, but you're a little bit in line of sight, and yeah, several other obviously hunters come stumbling out of the woods and kind of mill around.
Like zombies.
Yeah.
Okay.
kind of mill around and then seem, it's like they're looking, but like the way that they're moving their heads, it's clear that they've caught a whiff of the fire and the fish. And so they begin kind of just stumbling. Like one of them falls down in the river. The other one just like steps on him, but it seems like they are in their clumsy fashion making their way in your direction. It's not a horde. It's just a handful.
Time to go. Is Cyril's stuff dried and he's dressed when they show up, or is he still naked?
No, I think that you had a good long conversation with Lucille as your stuff was drying. It's not dry, but it's a lot drier than it was. But you're probably going to have to scramble into it.
I am definitely going to scramble into my trousers and then grab my shoes and throw my jacket over my shoulder and begin to dash away into the woods barefoot.
Cool.
Not into the woods, down the path or up the river, towards the destination.
Are you guys just running, or are you trying to lose them? I like basically, are you trying to be stealthy and smart in a way to throw them off your trail, or are you just trying to outdistance them?
I was thinking, probably as he's throwing on all of his clothes, be like, keep the smoke between us and them as we try to leave so the smoke's blowing at him and they won't catch our scent as we try to sneak away and then double back to where we're going.
Cool. That sounds smart and stealthy to me. So how about everyone give me a lovely agility stealth?
Cool. 1 success and a 1 on a stress die.
Cool. Excellent.
I can beat that. No successes and 2 stress die came up to a 1.
Oh my gosh.
What?
We tried to solve your problems.
Wow. This escalated quickly.
I had no successes on either dice. No ones on stress die. 2 ones on normal die, but
yeah, ones on
no
normal day,
ones
thank
on
goodness, don't
stress.
count. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So you guys have messed up. So there's
Listen,
that.
I was stealthy to start with. And then it all went bad.
Yes. What is a thing that makes sense? I think you make it a good, dozen yards away. I think, because it's always fun when people fall in holes. I think you're not really paying attention, and you come up into the hill, slightly up into the hillier area. There's just like a little wash that it's deceptive because there's a lot of fallen leaves and a little bit of scrubby brush, and you don't quite realize how precarious it is. So Cyril, you had 2 fails, right? So I'm going to say Cyril stumbles and starts to go down. Grace tries to catch him.
I try to catch him. Yep.
And then you both go tumbling into this little small ravine. Cyril, you are going to take a point of damage. You are now bruised. You twist your ankle a little bit. And there is a good loud crash as you fall and hit every little branch and dry brush on the way down. So lots of crashing and cracking and oof, ow kind of stuff going on. And Lucille, you neither succeeded nor failed. Is that right? Yes, you're just trudging along behind them. Just not really. And then just in time to see them go, poop, fall down. So you are now standing at the edge of this little ravine with your friends at the bottom as the zombie family is heading in this direction. What happens?
Lucille whispers down, it's like, "Are you okay?"
I'll be all right. Cyril?
Get off me. I attempt to stand
Exist.
and almost fall over, and I fall over almost immediately.
Yeah.
Your ankle. I'm gonna look around. If there's no immediate zombies, I will try to brace his ankle really quick with
You can just do it
I
first.
don't know.
Yeah, you can do it first aid real quick.
Okay. That's medicine
Empathy.
and empathy.
Yeah.
Grace's bad luck.
Bedside manners. I ain't got those. I'm the cool doctor who doesn't believe in bedside manners. Side note, what do Major Bane or sorry Major Boons do exactly?
Reroll up to all.
Okay.
Or you can push
I
it.
might.
You can push it. It just adds a stress. I think it's nicer when you like, oh no, oh no, his ankle's broken. I'm more stressed out.
Oh no,
Oh
his
wait,
ankle's
it's just
broken.
not
I'm
even sprained.
stressed out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
let's try
pushing it
that.
would be Dr.
And that's
House's bedside manner.
is that up to all of the dice for the push it, or you just
When it's a
reroll?
push, you add a stress die and then re-roll the whole thing.
Because I do have one success. It's mostly the horrible one on the other stress die that I was.
Minor, you can just re-roll one die.
Oh yeah, I would love to try to do that.
Yeah.
I would love to try to do that again.
The universe is telling you, like,
check on it.
don't we worry, it's not even sprained, and then you twist it
It's not
and you hear
even
the bones
sprained.
cracking.
It's not even sprained, I swear. All right, now it's definitely not sprained. I have one success.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, you can just, I mean, you got stuff on you. You can rip a little piece of your shirt or his shirt off or whatever, and like
His shirt.
Yeah, bind it up a little bit.
My shirt is designer.
Okay.
So
right. You got your look going. But so you do first aid, but you also do a medicine check, and you can confirm that like it's not fractured. It's just a little bit tender. It's a strain at worst. And really probably more like he hit his ankle on a rock or a stick on the way down. And it's more of a bruise. It's going to be, he's going to be limping a little bit, but it's not like he couldn't run if he had to. And you might have to because the zombies are coming.
Yeah. So much faster now. Is there a way for us to get out of the little ravine?
Yeah, agility, mobility.
Yeah, like just to climb out?
Yeah.
Or run around? Okay. And that's on the other side away from the zombies.
Yeah, you can climb up the far side. Lucille,
okay.
You see Grace check Cyril out, smack him on the ankle. You're fine. Gives him a lollipop, and then it's like, climb. What are you doing? As the zombies begin to advance on you, because right now you're the only person they can see. I would say one of them even like steps in the fire because they're dumb zombies and starts to like set itself on fire and doesn't even care.
If there's a way to go around the ravine, I'm gonna go around to meet up with them on the other side.
So you're going to lead the zombies to where your friends are crawling out. Okay, cool. Good idea.
I got a single success. No, no,
you're good.
Sorry.
I got 2 success.
Good. You get up super fast. You get up fast enough and
let's go.
And can like grab a stick and like hold it down for Cyril to grab onto and can pull him up. So yeah, by the time Lucille gets around to you, the zombies are also going to try. I will say that the one that caught on fire also falls in the ravine, because why not? And is now, because it falls in the ravine and covers itself in leaves and stuff, it's actually started to crackle a little bit. So now you see below you this zombie up at you as the others kind of, being slightly more intelligent, I guess, kind of stumble in both directions around this little ravine. I'll even say one of them kind of slides down into an area where the ravine is a little bit shallower and is trying to climb up, but they're not super dexterous. So you only have a couple now that you need to worry about. But they are getting close. What do you do?
It's running time. We're great at this.
So this time you're just going to run.
I think so.
Cool. Agility, mobility, please.
The stealthy maneuvers didn't really work out there.
Yeah.
Two
success.
Cool. Lucille.
No success, but 1 on the stress die.
Now Lucille falls in the hole. No. So no, I think it's just a. Oh, actually, why don't you just roll a d6 for me? Kind of just like see how luck favors you.
Got a 5.
Oh, cool. What is something really terrible that can happen to you? Um, ooh, there is an old fence that is kind of buried in the detritus, just the undergrowth and stuff. And as Grace and Cyril kind of go one way, you're kind of gonna go the other way, just doing a little bit of a serpentine, trying to like not have them be right on you. And you stumble into this fence and it's barbed wire and you get caught in it. So you're gonna take a few little scratchies from that. Nothing too impairing, but take a point of harm damage. And you're currently stuck. I mean, you got a little bit of movement because you've got some barbed wire wrapped around one leg, and you've got like an old fence post that is now just kind of like gray and green, very rotted. But it looks like this is one of those things where someone had just used a U-nail to tack some of the barbed wire to a tree, and then maybe had a few posts. So you're kind of now tied with barbed wire to a tree as the zombies begin to descend. What is everyone doing?
Well, I'm here with my only friend, so no, I turn around.
You're like, well, she has tetanus now. It's best to let her go.
Yeah. There's no saving her from the rest. No, I'm going to be like, shoot, take out my axe and wheel about. I don't know if it will cut barbed wire, but I don't know, it's rusty, right? So might as well just slam it down and see if I can
Yeah, that's a strength force.
get her loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super bad at that. But that's all right.
But you
I
have
an
lots of
axe.
stress.
I do have stress. I'm not that stressed out.
You can be more stressed as your friend is about to be eaten.
We're getting there. Do I add the bonus from the axe, or is that only when you attack with it?
I think it counts. Why not?
Okay. Better. Oh, stress die came in clutch with 1 success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say you're like trying to just like whack at the wire, and of course Lucille is jerking and the wire's popping around, and you're like, this is really not useful. But then you get smart, because you are smart, and actually see where the wire is pinned to that nearby tree, and really just take a good chop at the tree and sever the wire. So you are still wrapped up in the wire, but you're no longer effectively tied to the tree, Lucille. So you can try to kind of hobble away, or you probably want to get yourself free, which that's going to be your action. Cyril gets a thing, and then the zombies get to try to eat you. So what are Cyril and Lucille doing?
I would like to try to untangle myself.
Cool. I think that's a strength force. Or agility, mobility, your choice. It's whether you're trying to like wiggle out of it without cutting yourself, or whether you're just like reaching down with your hands and trying to like bend, or maybe even break, because this is really rusty. Your choice of whether you want to be if you want to hulk out or be dexterous.
Probably dexterous.
Cool. Agility, mobility.
So I got 1 success, but also 1 on the stress die.
Oh, okay. So what is something terrible that can happen to you? I think what happens is you do get your leg free, but then the barbed wire gets tangled up in your on your arm. So you have to spend another round trying to get free. So you did get free, but one of your arms is now trapped. Cyril.
Grace and I are of one mind as we're rushing back. She's a bit faster because
Yeah.
she doesn't have a sprained ankle, but she gets in there with the axe and chops down the barbed wire, and I go for the seal and I grab her and I yank,
You're just-
pulling her away from these zombies.
Cool. Give me a strength force. I'm just trying to get you both wrapped up in barbed wire.
A single success, no
Oh.
failures.
Yeah, you're good. It like maybe it rips a little bit of the cloth on Lucille's jacket, but you're just like nope, and just manhandle Lucille out of the way, which means Grace is there all by herself when the zombies attack. Now the good news is it's only 2 of them, and I would say one of them is just out of sheer luck, a little bit closer. So what would you like to do? Would you like to dodge out of the way, or would you like to whack it with your axe as it goes in to tackle you?
I think I'm already in the mode of swinging, so here we are whacking it with axe. I become slightly more stressed now, right?
I think you're
There's a
being
zombie right
directly
here.
attacked by a zombie. I
Yeah.
think that makes sense.
Grace, we are not of one mind anymore. Grace, don't.
Well, and to be clear, I mean, like you could like, I want to use the axe to like body check it to push it away, which is not the same thing as
No,
like
I'm
fighting
going
back.
to cut off its head.
Yeah, that actually
Yes,
probably
yeah.
works better. And it does give you the +2.
Gang, I'm not very good at axes. I'm going to push it, actually. This is very exciting.
So you
I rolled very badly.
you don't really time it right, and you actually swing before it gets to you,
Mm-hmm,
and then reverse it, and now you're gonna
And
try
then I
to catch it
reverse
with
it.
that swing. And
I miss the next time, and I have a 1 on the stress die.
so you miss. Oh no! You
Yeah.
throw your axe.
Ah!
You just you catch it on the like the downswing, which is like the only way you're familiar because you chop some wood and then you're like, oh, I've seen this, and you reverse it and try, and then but you're pushing with your left hand, which is just not comfortable, and you wind up just kind of like throwing it over its shoulder. And for comedic effect,
This will be fine.
the zombie kind of goes, follows the axe with its eyes, and then kind of goes in for a bite. Hey, why don't you roll a D66 for me?
What am I rolling?
It's just 2 6s, and the first one is the 10s, and the second one is the 1s, and we'll see what the thing is that happens if I can find that darn table, or I can just make something up. But
All right, so I'm rolling 2d6.
yeah, but you're treating it more like a percentile than a
Yeah.
than a added up
I got
thing.
a 2 and then a 3.
So 23. What? We'll just use this handy dandy table. Okay. Ooh, yes. The it comes in to grab you, and you are fighting with it. You manage to hold it off. But now that it's up close, it is clear that this individual, like someone has maybe tangled with these guys before, because it has a knife stuck through its neck. And as you're, just desperately struggling to get it off, you give yourself a really terrible gash in your hand. So you're going to take a point of damage, and it's very bleedy. it's the kind of thing you're going to need to do something about it, or else you might take more damage. It doesn't quite chop off the finger, but it's bad enough you're going to need to do something about it. Cool.
Cool.
Next round, there'll be 2 zombies. What is everyone doing?
I turn around, see Grace in danger, and decide this is the moment. I draw my revolver, step forwards, and then I fire it next to the zombie's head into the air, trying to shock it.
Oh, okay. Get out of here. Get out of here. You. Okay, cool. Yeah. Give me an empathy manipulation. Or you could, or agility range combat, your choice. Either would be interesting. I think agility range combat would be more interesting. Yeah, do
One
that.
success, 1 failure.
1 success, 1 failure. Cool. You hit it right between the eyes.
I stand there, shocked.
Take a
unable
stress.
to believe what I've done.
Take a stress right away. Cool. 1 down.
I'm seeing Cyril pull out his revolver. Lucy's gonna pull out her revolver and try to shoot the other one.
Do it. As it stumbles forward.
I forgot the 2 bonus dice.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I forgot mine.
Oh, good. You could do more
I mean-
damage to it.
Well, I mean, I might take another stress. No, I wouldn't. Right.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
It could theoretically, like if you got 2 more successes, it could be super gory kill.
I got 2 successes.
Oh, good deal. Oh yeah. Straight up with a revolver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's straight up. That's. I mean, these are just little mookie zombies, but every additional successes do additional damage in most cases. So yeah, just put its lights out.
Oh, how quickly pinky promises are broken.
Right. Oh wow.
Technically helping me from danger, not you from danger.
True.
Not to rules lawyer your pinky promise or anything, but
There's still the one on fire and the one who's like desperately trying to crawl up the ravine. And I'm going to say it's attracted to the sound, so it's actually not doing the smart thing, which is head towards the little shallow end of that ravine, but it's actually heading towards the deeper part where its smoldering friend is. So I think you can leave them there, or you can dispatch them. It's your choice.
I mean, Grace still
I'm-
doesn't act in this turn.
I mean, I think my action is seeing if I can see my axe, but then going like, cool, well, that guy's dead, and my hand is bleeding and full of infection. So I think I will try to stop it from bleeding.
That's a good idea.
That seems like what I should do. And I say, hey, go get my axe, and then we can get out of here.
Yeah.
Good shot. Good shooting, Lucille, I say, making an assumption of what happened behind me.
Oh, right. You don't know.
Sorry, what do I roll for the medicine again?
I mean, you could just do a first
Empathy.
aid, but you might want to do a medicine check to like see if you can like,
Yes.
clean it up. And
I would like that, I think. That's with empathy, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And all your stress die.
Yeah. It didn't look good, but I see 1 success in this pile of 10 dice, so.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, how bad is it? And it's one of those where it kind of cut a flap, you know, so it's a little bit of an oblique angle, and you're very painfully able to kind of peel it back, and then just like, I don't know, maybe there's like a little puddle of water or something, I don't know, and just like, or you got some water in a canteen, I'm sure, just like pour some water over it,
Yeah.
put that flap back, and then just wrap something around it. So it's painful. It's enough that it's gonna, you know, make things a little bit harder, but you're pretty sure your life is not in danger. Except for the fact that everything has zombie germs on it, and even the littlest nick is probably going to result in some sort of sepsis and you all die. But, you know, this is a fantasy game.
Don't worry about that part.
Yeah. Good. Now what happens? You have gone half a mile since this morning.
Well, I mean, while I'm doing that, I assume Lucille's getting my axe because I threw it over there.
Yeah.
Yon.
You didn't throw that far.
Yes.
So yeah, it's easy. It's easy enough to recover. Now, I will say, these guys are hunters.
Yeah. Do the ones up here have bonus stuff? He has a knife in his throat, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a free knife right there.
Yeah. They might have all kinds of stuff on them. You don't know.
How do we know what they have?
How about you can roll luck?
Okay.
Just a plain old D6.
I got a 5.
Ooh. I think the one that Cyril shot. No. Sorry, the one that Lucille shot, the one that was lagging behind a little bit, was moving a little bit slower because he has one of those like little kind of collapsible crossbows, like on his back, and it kept getting caught on stuff, and that's maybe why he was moving slow. And I think you can probably scavenge, roll another d6.
5 again.
Cool. 5 arrows or whorls or whatever they're called.
Mm.
This was a kind of a young guy. This is not some sort of like high-powered hunting crossbow. It's probably good for like shooting birds. Not like the kind that you can literally hunt deer with. Which is good because it's not as complicated to operate. But it's one of those ones that, you know, kind of like folds down. Almost looks a little bit like a snowshoe, kind of when it's folded down. But as you examine it, you see, oh, okay, you can put the bars in place and you can string it and put the pins in. And, oh, yeah, he's got a couple of quarrels. So, yeah. Good job. Good. The advantage of crossbows is they don't make the same noise as gunfire. I will say you have, in the space of not that long, fired a lot of guns in a nearly fairly small area. So you probably hear in the distance a little bit of crashing through the underbrush and a little bit of...
Right. Time to go. Here, Lucille. I'll give Lucille the crossbow because she hunts or something.
Yeah.
She says, you can use this for your squirrels or maybe more of these guys.
I mean, that would 100% be better than a revolver or just a knife. Cool. Well done. So you got a little bit of loot. I'm going to say although you are aware that there are walkers in the area, they are not like right on top of you. So you can just move away. Cool. Well done. And as you leave the area, I will reduce the threat level a little bit because you are no longer in the area where you have fired off a lot of shotguns or a lot of things. I am looking up now. Crossbow is a +2 to attack and 2 damage. Short range and a little bit bulky and relatively quiet. So good job. I'm going to say, yeah, you're not as far away as like you didn't know how far you are, but once you get away from that area, I think once walking a little bit, Cyril, um, your ankle kind of limbers up a little bit. Like it's still real bruised, but you kind of just get used to it. So you're not slowing people down too much. Lucille, your leg and arm are scratched up a little bit, but like it's not bleeding really bad. You probably have time at some point to head back to the little stream and wash off a little bit. And yes, you can see as the sky turns a lovely kind of rosy, orangey, little streaks of purple, little bits of bright blue sky. You're still kind of in that little gully with that stream. And you begin to hear a little bit of a waterfall. Just more like not like a huge waterfall, but it's like a trickle, like a splash. And as you come around a bend, you kind of look up and you can see this like a little small, maybe 20-foot bluff. Very mossy, a few ferns. You can see that same little stream kind of making its way down a couple of different shelves on this bluff. There's a small-ish kind of pool, maybe 10 feet wide. And you can just see a little bit away from the edge of this bluff, the peaked roof of a cabin. And maybe you can even see the glint of the sun off of an intact window in the second floor. So you're fairly certain that you are close at least to where you wanted to be. So what happens?
Look, if there are people there, then sneaking up on them is just going to get somebody hurt. I mean, we're not thieves, right? We should approach them openly and talk like reasonable people.
Yes. Yeah, but maybe we approach them quietly and openly, just in case they immediately turn to violence. Maybe we should see if they look like they're going to turn to violence right away.
Well, if we're talking to them, then we can judge their demeanor, right? We can get a feel for them. Whereas if we're just, spying on them, then that's not going to happen. Perhaps one person should approach and the other two can prepare some sort of distraction in case things go badly.
Yeah. Lucille, how about you go ahead and take a look? See what they're looking like. See if you can talk to them. And just let us know, and we'll be ready with a distraction.
Okay.
I mean, there is a mechanic where you can sacrifice one of your party members to get away from danger. So just in case you read the rule book, it is possible. It's usually done in combat where you like throw someone into the zombie horde so you can get away. But this works too. It's fine. Lucille's super diplomatic, right?
Yeah. Lucille just needs to take a look-see and then come back. Just don't be seen.
Oh, I thought you said you should go talk to them and make friends.
No. You should see if they look like we could talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lucille, with the hidden message, if they're zombies, we aren't going to go talk to them and we aren't going to make noise, is kind of what the hidden message is there.
Yes. Lucille. I think, you want to be sneaky first. So go ahead and give me that agility stealth.
1 success.
Yeah. You you kind of stop and look at this little bluff, and it's really more like just different striations of rock that have eroded over time. And really, the easiest place to climb up is pretty close to where the little stream comes down, and you figure that's probably going to be mossy and slippery. But you do see a place kind of over to the side where it's relatively easy to climb up, and where the rock is relatively stable. So there's a few moments where you kick loose a few rocks that kind of clatter down and splash into the pool and stop and pause for a second. But you have the advantage of just that white noise of the trickling water. So you're fairly certain that you are not observed. Now I need you to wit scout to assess the situation.
That's 1 success.
Cool. There are zombies everywhere. But all the ones that you can see are dead. So you kind of sneak up behind this one cabin that's closest to that little, it's not even really a cliff, right? But that little drop off. Like it's got little pinwheels and little the pink flamingos, but not just the ones that are plastic, but the ones that like the wind blows and their legs kind of go up and down. It's got some wind chimes. Someone really loved this place. Someone kind of built a little rock chase for this little stream to kind of make it go around the house. It's actually quite nice. But the back door is busted in. You see the telltale signs of zombie goop on it. But as you kind of make your way around that one, you see another cabin that's almost like directly facing. There's a little walkway. Seems to be more or less the same layout. However, this one, the yard around it has probably a baker's dozen of dead zombies attracting flies, and you can immediately see that the windows are boarded up. I think you also see that the second floor window is open, and maybe you see the barrel of a rifle. And in the, maybe 5 minutes is taken, it's getting darker quicker. It's about to hit that gloaming thing where the light becomes really golden and beautiful, which means it's going to be dark soon. What happens?
I report my findings. So, there's another house, or a cabin, but I don't think there's friendly people. I mean, they could be friendly to other humans, and just not friendly to zombies.
Look, if they're killing people, then we should avoid them.
Well, we don't have many options around here. So it's either go into the hopefully empty one next to them or go talk and see if they'll let us in. Or, I don't know, camp in the woods. I'm sure it's fine.
We can't camp in the woods. We tried that and we ran out of food. If they're killing people, then Well, our last time talking to people didn't exactly end well, did it? Let's just hole up in the empty cabin, at least until morning, and maybe when the sun is shining, things will look better.
And that was just out of character. That was like there was like two cabins, right? That
Yeah,
you were talking
there's
about.
one, the back porch of which kind of overlooks this little bluff that you're at the bottom of currently,
Mhm.
and then across this little, it's not even a street or a road. Maybe people drove golf carts on it or something. Is not quite directly across the street. It's offset a little bit. Is another cabin, and that's the one that has dead zombies lying all around it. The one closest to you is the one that had the back door obviously busted in by zombies.
And was that one? Did it look like that one was also full of dead zombies, or was just the ones that were lying on the ground?
Lucille didn't see any, but Lucille also didn't go into it. Lucille was being very cautious not to be seen and just kind of sussed out the situation and didn't see any biters moving around, and frankly didn't see any movement.
I'm just thinking to myself, there's probably a reason why they're in that cabin over there and stopping all them from entering from this cabin over here. But also, I don't really like people, so due to the fact that I'm probably better than them also.
Yes, of course.
So we can just probably try and go into the empty, the one we hope is empty,
The one with
while
the
there's
busted,
still a little light.
the one with the busted in back
Yeah,
door. Yeah, while there's still a little
yeah.
bit of light. Yes, the go ahead and so who's going to lead the charge to go into the abandoned one that you can get into? Who's first?
Well, Lucille was scouting it. We can follow her lead.
Okay. So Lucille, go ahead and give me another wit scout.
You see willow trees and discover that this is Willow Bluff.
Right. Zombie Willow Bluff. It's entirely possible. Oop. You froze there for a second. What'd you get on your wit scout?
2 successes.
Cool. So like a ghost, Lucille makes her way in. You notice 2 things, and this is pertinent to the downstairs. One, this place has been ransacked. Like the kitchen and the pantry and all that stuff has just been completely gone through. And I would say pretty thoroughly. It's not like someone did a smash and grab, but like cabinets are open. You don't see a scrap of food. There aren't very many pots and pans. I will say, however, that like whoever did this, like took stacks of dishes out and like set them on the counter, didn't just like throw them on the floor trying to cause a disaster. And then you do find, so there's a kitchen over here. You go in the back door, kitchen over here, a little kind of eat-in dinette area over here that just has some stuff stacked on a table. Go through into a smallish, like open concept great room with a TV and a couple of comfy couches, all very rustic, deer head on the wall kind of situation. There is a zombie, dead or unmoving, kind of busted through the front window on the far end of that room with its head caved in. Just and relatively dry, like it's no longer leaking onto the carpet, but you can see where it leaked onto the rug and floor. The front door is likewise open. And then there, near, like, just right near the front door, there are a set of stairs that go up to the loft. But it looks like this place has been cleaned out. But you never know what you would find upstairs.
Well, first of all, I'm going to close the door and see if there's a key in the lock that I can turn.
The front door is actually intact, and it does have one of those deadbolts. The problem is the back door has been busted in, and the big front window has been busted in, and it currently has a zombie in it.
Still, securing one entrance is better than having three
yeah,
gaping holes.
It's true.
And would this would be the door facing the cabin?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, you can kind of there's kind of like daisy yellow sheer curtains that the zombie that's like halfway through is like kind of tangled in. So it's really relatively easy to kind of, you know, twitch that aside and kind of get a good line of sight to the neighbor's house. And it is exactly as Lucille described. There's a bunch of dead zombies. Sorry, dead people. Sorry. I don't mean to be alivist or whatever. Undeadist. I don't know what the appropriate ism is. But yeah, you catch, maybe you don't see the barrel of a gun because it's gotten significantly darker, but it looks like Lucille told you what she saw.
Whoever's in there isn't burying the people they kill. There's got to be all kinds of diseases around here.
Yes. Grace says that they have just left 2 bodies in the wood and one in a stream, but that's fine. She's not going to bring it up. She's thinking about it.
I'm sure
Also one
there isn't
burning.
some sort of friendly settlement downstream that relies on that water. And now they're all going to die. Anyway, it's fine. So what's happening? Lucille, going upstairs?
Yeah, I'll check upstairs.
Cool. In the last little bit of light, you go up, and this is a loft bedroom. There's a couple of, I'll say it's actually 2 bunk beds. So it's a little bit of an A-frame situation. Up against the sloped roof on either side is a bunk bed. There's a little kind of like desk and a chair underneath that window that you had seen from below, looking out towards the back. Towards the front, it's a little bit of a railing that, and then kind of a look down into the living room. It looks like, and a couple of chest of drawers. It looks like the bedding has been taken. And there's maybe a few pieces of clothing left, but it looks like someone pulled out all the bedding. Not the mattresses, but like there's no sheets, there's no blankets, and there's only a few pieces of clothing left in the little drawers, chest of drawers. And the back door is busted open. So this is not a super defensible place, but things can be done. But it is getting dark.
And nothing spooky in a closet or anything.
No.
All right.
You search the spot. It looks like
good.
aside from the fact that clearly something happened downstairs, something busted in downstairs, and a zombie was stuck through the front wall. You don't really see any signs of disruption up here other than someone came through and cleared it out.
I mean, that makes sense if someone's like living next door. So is there like any large pieces of furniture downstairs?
There's like a couch, a couple couches.
Yeah, let's
that
move
kitchen
those
table.
in front of. Let's get a little barricade set up on the back door.
Okay.
I don't know if we can really do anything about the hole in the window, but maybe it looks less suspicious when there's a zombie through it. Or someone's going to make a lot of noise
Well,
if they break through it. So,
the two couches might be, we could sort of pile one on top of the other. They might be wide enough to block the window.
Yeah.
And then we
Alright.
could move a fridge into the middle of the doorway or whatever.
Yeah. Just how about who's gonna take point on shoring up this place?
I would be more than happy to.
Cool. So Cyril's going to take point. And I'm going to say that Grace and Lucille are going to assist. So I will let you add 2 dice to a strength force.
Three successes.
Yes, you do a very, very good job.
And one of them was from an assist die.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, you pull up that little kitchenette table, block up the door, probably pull like the stove out and like push it up against that to like really make a good seal. And then with a combination of couches and night tables or end tables and cushions and stuff, really kind of block up the that big picture window. There are a few other windows, but they're relatively small. And then of course you've got that really nice window up on the loft. I will even say there's enough that you can like take one of those empty chests of drawers and turn it sideways so that it blocks the top of the stairs. And from what you've seen, the afflicted people, who are definitely human, can negotiate stairs, but they're not really, really good at like climbing things. So you pull on your strength and your collective experience and wisdom to at least make it so you feel pretty comfortable that this little loft area is going to be secure for the night. But you have no food or water. But well, you probably do have a little bit of water in little plastic containers. You were just near that stream. I'm sure you filled it up. So yes, you at least have something to drink. But with all the exertion and stress of the day, the full feeling you had from your 1 1/3 fish breakfast/lunch is replaced by more grumbling stomach. So what are you doing during the night to recuperate? Maybe relieve some stress? Or are you just like literally like, we're safe, we don't have to take watches, we're sleeping? Because that'll do it too.
We might want to take watches though, just
I
in
think all the
case.
watches were cleared out along with the clocks.
Does that relieve stress, or does that make it more stressful?
I think dad jokes. There's an
Yeah.
attic, there's a zombie in it, it falls through the ceiling and bites you.
Exactly.
No. Cool. So yeah, I mean you can take watches if you like. Actually, for fun. Who wants to take watches? And who's just gonna like, I don't care, I'm sleeping. Okay, watches? Or are you just sleeping?
Watches.
Okay, you're all going to try to take watches. I would like everyone to give me a strength endure.
Two
Nothing.
successes.
Okay. Nothing for Cyril?
2 successes and 1 failure.
On the stress die? Or
Yeah.
just okay. Oh, okay. What can we do about that?
Tell turns out that Lucille snores.
The whole time, no one slept well.
How does this order make sense? So Grace stays up. Oh yeah, here we go. Grace stays up. Grace wakes Lucille up. Lucille stays up for her watch, forgets to wake Cyril up. It's just like, okay, fine. Goes to bed. So I'm going to say you all wake up. The heat is what wakes you up. Because, like, it's full day. And without air conditioning and without this little, window open, it's very stuffy up in this attic. And you wake up, you know how it is when you wake up and it's really hot and you're just like all sweaty and sticky and whatever. And of course you probably this evening as you were going to bed, you kind of had to like pull all your extra clothes around you because it was a little chilly. But in the heat of the sun on those bare mattresses, it's just really gross. And you're very thirsty and very hungry because I'm gonna say it's like noon. But you all you all get rid of one stress because you had a real good long night's rest.
We sure did.
And then the 17 raiders that have stuck, nope, it's fine. There's probably a moment of freak out when you realize that you all have been asleep for hours and hours. But doesn't seem like anything bad happened.
Last night, as I was thinking about food, I was thinking that perhaps we could fish, but that got me thinking that perhaps the person in the other cabin fishes, and we're between them and the stream, the lake.
The lake is actually, you can't quite see it. Because this is one of those like story and a half and the little loft areas in that back. So there is that little stream that you followed up here. And there's other streams that have joined it. I mean, it was a little bit maybe you haven't followed the absolute source of it. But you probably have a sense, or maybe when Lucille was scouting through the trees kind of off to, if you're standing beside the house that you're in now, looking across at the neighbor's house over here, you probably saw some other structures and maybe a little bit of water through the trees. So you think the lake is actually kind of over that direction.
All right. I'm changing what I'm saying. Last night, I was thinking about being hungry. I was thinking about fishing. And the lake is on the other side of the neighbor's house, which means that we have to go past it to fish. So we have absolutely no negotiation leverage here.
I mean, it could just be the negotiation we leave, but this is kind of a nice spot. It was nice to get a full night's sleep. Maybe they won't shoot us to death?
I mean, they've killed a lot of people. We need to find out one way or another whether they intend to deal with us.
They were doing it in self-defense. We've had to do things in self-defense, right, Lucille?
Yeah. Like that one time at the shop, there was a bear that was charging at us, and shot it straight through the thing, and we ate good that night.
The bear was on fire at the time.
Yes, as they tend to be.
Yeah.
Yes, or when we were attacked recently by those hunters. So we are certainly not trying to go out of our way to hurt lots of people. I'm sure it's worth, maybe we'd make a little white flag and see if they want to talk nice and quiet. We don't want to give them any trouble in the neighborhood,
There aren't even any sheets to make a white flag out of. All right, I'm going over there. I'm going to talk to them. Does anybody want to come with me?
We should probably all go.
I agree with Grace.
Just, don't draw your weapons.
Do
So
draw
we
weapons or
awkwardly-
don't draw weapons?
Don't
Okay.
draw your weapons.
I mean, either one's a choice.
So we awkwardly negotiate each of the barriers that we've set up on the way down. It takes half an hour.
Oh
and then
no,
we
it's
just-
it's easy enough. You just pull the little dresser out of the way, go down the stairs, and then undo the deadbolt, and you can walk right out the front door. It's real gross. So the zombie that is hanging out the front window, like I don't know, like raccoons or something, have gotten, because the legs are kind of still dangling down on the ground. Raccoons or possums or something have gotten after it, so like the legs are like defleshed. It's real icky. Does not smell great. So there's that. But you're probably somewhat desensitized to that. So yeah, and then there's this little kind of dirt path, and across the way and a little bit to your left is this cabin, and it looks again fairly similar. Maybe it's a little bit larger, or maybe the layout's a little bit different. And actually, now that you look back at this cabin, your cabin kind of has this like kind of sloping, relatively low roof to this little front porch area. It looks like the view is meant to be on the back. This one looks like maybe the view is meant to be on the front. Or maybe it's just bigger. But yeah, there's a stack of wood over in a pile on one side of the porch. There's, from where you're standing, you can see a couple of buckets and baskets, kind of just, again, kind of stacked up against the little porch rail, and a bunch of dead zombies. And you can tell, at least at the front, that all the windows have been boarded up from the inside. And a couple of them have been broken, and you can see that gross black-brown zombie blood stuff from, like, probably some zombies tried to get in. What do you do?
Well, the doorbell will be dead, so we probably ought
Probably
to
so.
knock instead.
Probably so. So you're going to pick your way? Yeah, and you can definitely see now, Lucille points out, there is 100% the barrel of there's like kind of a lacy curtain with maybe little cornflowers embroidered in it. And poking between, kind of in the split between the curtains, is 100% a black metal barrel of some sort of rifle.
Is it tracking us?
Make a wit scout.
Three successes.
Ooh, well done. Not only is it not tracking at you, it's not even pointed, that like the angle's wrong. It's pointed way too far up to be effectively covering this area. And yes, it doesn't appear to be moving at all.
Grace, Lucille, keep an eye on those windows where they've been broken into this blood. I'm going to knock on the door.
Cool. You go knock on the door. And now that you're close enough, you can see, yeah, some of the glass is broken, but there's like, someone has taken 2x4s or something and really meticulously blocked up those windows. So there's a little bit of like blood and scrabble, but it doesn't look like anything was able to get in. Knock on door, no answer.
I try to sneak around the back.
Yes. Give me a stealth. Agility stealth.
No successes.
But no bad fails, right?
Correct.
Cool. Yeah, it's you're going pretty slow, and the grass has grown up a little bit. And you know those little toy lawnmowers with the little poppy ball things, the little multicolored poppy balls. You aren't really watching where you're going, and so you wind up catching your feet on one of those, and then it makes this almighty racket as you like trip over it, and then you wind up like kind of kicking it up in the air, and it slams up against the side of the house. So Cyril and Grace hear this racket from around the side of the house. But you aren't harmed. You just make a racket. Doesn't appear to be any response.
Can I try the back door?
You can. It is locked.
I'm going to try the front door.
It is also locked.
Okay.
I'm going to yell.
Oh,
Hello?
okay. Cool.
I'm still by the front door here.
Yeah.
Hello? Is anybody in there?
Cool. There is no answer. However, you do hear something. So, so you're at the face of this house. This little path kind of curves away. There's a little stand of pines, and you can now see very clearly. There's like you can kind of see the edge of like a little boathouse. Over this way, there's probably another cabin, but because of the pines, you can actually see pretty straightforward and see like the shore of the lake. And even a little bit of the far shore where the sun is shining on it. It's very, very green, looks lovely. You probably even catch out of the corner of your eye that there's a boat kind of floating out in the middle of the lake. Maybe there's like a leg hanging over the side, really gross. But you do hear something coming from that stand of pines, and and a few of the objects that you thought they just kind of like read as pine trunks or just like dark against the dark pine straw bottom begin to move in your direction because you're yelling. There's maybe a little bit of, but they're a good ways away. What you know about zombies is that they certainly haven't seen you. They just are reacting to the sound of a voice.
Just shaking my head at Cyril.
Yeah. Lucille. You're at the back door, right?
Yep.
Why don't you give me a wit scout?
No success, no failure.
Do you want to push that or do something about it? It might be good if you did.
I'll push it.
Cool. So add a stress and then roll with that additional stress.
That is one success.
And no bad fails?
No bad fails.
You were about to leave, like you rattle the back door, and there's like a little mud room. So there's like a back door, and you can see there's a little area with a couple little benches. You can see some flip flops and maybe some discarded swim trunks and maybe like a fishing rod or two. And then there's a solid wood door that goes into the building proper. So you're kind of peeking in that, but you don't really see anything. And as you're heading back down the little steps, as Cyril is yelling, and then you're starting to see, zombies coming. There's a weird lawn ornament. And this is a kind of tacky place. There's a lawn ornaments and everywhere, but this one is an arrow. Obviously handmade or hand painted. Like someone took a stick and nailed a plank to it and painted an arrow that's pointing down directly at a rock.
Can I investigate the rock?
Yeah. There's a key under it.
I'm gonna try the back door first.
Yeah. Click, click. It opens.
I'm gonna go inside to try to then unlock the front door.
You unlock the back door. You go in. It's actually a relatively similar layout, although you can tell that the second story of this is a full second story, so it's a little bit bigger. There's probably actually a proper bedroom up there. But the front door is barred. And actually, as you come in, you can see that this back door was at one time barred. But someone obviously, like with a couple of 2x4s that someone nailed in place, but those have been pried off. The front door, however, is still barred. You can still, however, hear Cyril yelling out the front door. What do you do?
Knock on the either door or back of the window and be like, "Yo, go around the back. The back's open."
Cool.
Cool.
So just because speed is of the essence, Grace, Cyril, give me a agility mobility. And apparently the yard is littered with children's toys that might turn into traps. You never know.
1 failure.
On the stress die? Okay.
2 success.
Cool. So when Cyril starts to approach the people who are coming out of the little pine stand. "Oh, sir, hello. Can you help us?" What do you do, Grace? Because you have an extra success that you could try to help Cyril with.
Yeah. I just like horse collar, like grab him by the collar of his thing, pull him, be like, "Nope, inside."
Okay. I will say that you were able to get him in, but it does take some manhandling, and it does give the zombies a chance to get closer. So, what are you doing? You're able to get in, but now you've got this kind of double door situation. Cyril, you pass by a couple of fishing rods. Almost as good as your dream.
Almost. I think we probably ought to clear the house before we start, looting stuff.
You don't have time because in the kind of conversation of, no, we should just say hello to our neighbors as you're dragging Cyril around to the backyard. That is enough noise that the zombies now kind of know where to go, or at least some of them do. So you're going to have to do something unless you want zombies in the house. It would be smart to clear this joint before you try to lock yourself in, but it's a choice. What are you doing?
I mean, let's close the door. Let's close and lock the door, I think, is step number 1. A lot of the windows are boarded up.
Yep.
We'll see how that holds.
Yeah, I think your instincts are you need to protect yourself. So yeah, you will and actually there's like a hammer and nails. You can see that particularly this back door, you can see like multiple places where these bars have been or these 2x4s have been nailed across it a couple of times. So it takes maybe a couple of minutes. I mean, by the time you got the door closed and you're starting to hammer these 2x4s in place, you can hear the zombies on that external door. And you can probably hear just beating against the exterior of this house. But yeah, there's nothing that would prevent you from being able to at least temporarily protect yourselves with Lucille's help. So, what do you do now? You are now locked in this house.
It's fine. It's probably safe. The guy upstairs holding the rifle probably isn't a zombie. At any rate, are you okay, Cyril? You know they're all infected, right? Like, they aren't our friends.
I know that. It's just people recover from diseases, and it must be burning through their systems. I'm sure that somebody somewhere will eventually become immune, gain some sort of ability to live with this disease. And if we can just talk to them, we could save their lives. We could help them. They could help us. It's still just the three of us, and we're not exactly any better off than we were before we left the last place.
I'm sure we could find some people who aren't trying to kill us to help be friends with. Listen, Cyril, they're rotting. I don't think you've seen many dead bodies before all this, but I have. And they're dead. Every one of them. The diseases are already gone through them all.
You saw dead bodies before this. What did you do?
I worked in a hospital.
In the morgue?
No, people die in hospitals too, just from regular diseases. Back when we had them. This she thinks about pulling out a cigarette and then looks around inside and then puts it back because this is the time to do cool talk, but we're inside.
Yeah. And also, this was clearly a non-smoking house.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's kind of weird, and I'm going to back away from Grace, who just leaves bodies in the hospital on slabs until they start rotting. And I'm going to go upstairs and check to see if there is somebody here.
Yes. You search. And this place is empty.
Good news and bad news. The good news is that we don't have to share any of the food with anybody. The bad news is we are still stuck in a house surrounded by people who are quite angry.
Yes. So you have the time. There is still some food here. But I mean, and you don't know how much there was, but I will say, the impression you get as you look it over, and if you're being relatively quiet, the zombies will lose interest eventually. And kind of, I mean, they're still just kind of milling around. But it looks like this place was very well stocked. But someone took a lot of it with them. But there's a good amount. I think probably combining your heads, you can probably make a successful survival check that water is going to be a problem, but you probably got food for a week. And I will say, as you look through, you find a note. The note is, Tim, we waited as long as we could. You should be safe here for a couple of days. But it seems like there's more of them every day. We're almost out of ammo. So we're headed to the watch station. Rest up and come find us there. Please be careful. Love, mom and dad.
Speaking of running out of ammo, the gun, does it have many shells?
I think it has. There's a box of shells, and there's like 4 left.
Clearly, we ought to use those for hunting, and not for anything immoral.
Yeah, as you look out, you see
Oh
like
yeah.
oh, you're testing the sights of the rifle just as a zombie kind of like walks right into frame. It's wearing a red Mazda hat. Make America zombies again. Hi, Tuff. So what happens?
All right. Let's hunker down here for a day. Let till the zombies go. Maybe do a run for water. And then we should take these supplies and get to that watch station. They left stuff behind for their kid. They're probably decent people. We'll probably meet up and talk with them.
Yep.
How many? If they left supplies behind for their kid, and they see us approaching with the supplies, then that could be a bit of a shifty situation.
Oh, you can probably leave a day or two worth here, I guess. But I don't think their kid's going to make it. By chance, does he look like one of this hunter family?
No, you find like family pictures. This couple is in their probably late 50s, early 60s, but they clearly seem pretty fit. That means that their son, I guess, is probably somewhere in his 20s. Like there's not enough that you can deduce like exactly what's going on, but like it's I don't know. Go ahead and so what is a good role for this? I think wit survival makes sense. And Gray says the best of the bunch, and the most witful.
Yeah, let me double check on all these dice. Looks like 2 success and 1 failure.
Oh, a failure on a stress die?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What can that be? Oh, I'll figure that out in a second. So I think what you were able to deduce after, like, you know, spending some time and relaxing, having a little bit of food, it's likely that he like went on a run. Like it's 100 days in. It's unlike, or maybe they've just been waiting up here for him this entire time. You don't really know, but it does seem like there were more than 2 people here. So there's like a master bedroom and a guest bedroom, and it looks like both the master bed and the guest bed have been slept in. And there's probably some like hiking boots or something that suggests that some other man has been in the guest bed. So it seems like maybe he was up here, maybe he left to go get something or to go pick up someone else and bring them back. It's hard to tell. So no sign that Tim is dead, but no sign that he's alive either. What is going to be the thing that is the terrible thing that happens from your failure with a survival? Hey, what kind of vices does Grace have?
Vices? Well, I'm better than them.
Yes.
So I don't know. Pride. I mean, obviously I smoke. I love smoking. because I have a pack of cigarettes that I've probably been nursing for a while. Maybe I found another one that's new. So,
I'm going to say you find something smokable
okay. Yeah.
in the guest room. It's probably not tobacco.
It's probably not tobacco. Yeah.
And with all the boarded up windows, we will be hotboxed.
And I'm gonna say that maybe Grace isn't paying as much attention. You're like, oh, smokes. I guess they rolled their own. And you probably get halfway through before it becomes completely apparent that this is like, you're like, these must be stale. Like maybe it's just not Grace's jam and like doesn't quite recognize what's going on until it's maybe a little bit too late. So I think the one on the stress die is that Grace is now yeah.
I'm high as a kite, y'all.
Yeah.
I am super chill. Don't you think I'm less stressed now? I don't have to worry about anything. We're in a nice house.
I think you lose a stress as a result. So that was a
Yeah.
fortuitous one. But I think you also
I'm useless.
well, you're useless, and while Cyril and Lucille are like trying to figure things out and like, oh, there's a watchtower that actually sounds like it might be useful. You go and raid the pantry and just eat like a day's worth of stuff.
Nice.
Just be like, oh, it's so good. Canned peaches, glug, 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 glug. And eventually Cyril and Lucille walk in to just see Grace surrounded by open cans and packets. Having eaten.
They had so many Twinkies here, y'all.
Right. Had being the operative word. So you no longer have a week of careful rationing in this place. You probably have, 4 days. Or 5 days with rationing. 4 days if you want to like actually strengthen yourselves up for what is potentially a long trek. Cool. So, what is your plan? Do you do anything other than just like hold up here?
I think the sooner we leave, the better. But obviously, we can't leave while the zombies around us are interested. So I think the plan is to try and wait and see how long it takes.
Yeah, they you can watch from the second floor. They are just kind of milling around. As long as you're quiet, they don't continue pounding on the house. And some of them wander off, but there's still probably a good 4 or 5 of them that are in the general vicinity, just kind of milling around.
Lucille?
I don't know.
Man, we can just stay here. There's plenty of food. We can just go to bed tonight and deal with it in the morning.
Grace, what happened to the rest of the cigarettes?
Oh, you mean like the hand rolled ones they had?
Mm-hmm.
I did put them in my pocket. Just in
Would
case
you mind
I run
putting
out.
them in the toilet, just in case?
Oh, come on. Don't be so harsh, man. People did this all the time and it's fine.
What isn't fine are our supplies of food.
Well, listen, next time I'll know. Next time it happens, I'll be sure we have plenty of fresh food that we need to get rid of.
Grace, put the cigarettes in the toilet bowl.
Fine.
And make it a contested leadership role.
You can if you want
Is
to.
that a thing?
Oh, you're trying to guilt her into it, so that could absolutely be an empathy manipulation.
This is empathy. Do I do that same thing?
Yeah, why not?
Do I also manipulate back? I guess my manipulation is don't hurt my vibe.
Yeah,
it's
why
fun.
not? It's fine.
2 successes and 1 die of malice.
Oh my.
I only have 1 success.
Okay. So this, I'm going to say, escalates into a bit of an argument. I think some of Cyril shot someone in the face. Now, it was a zombie, but Cyril doesn't recognize that distinction. So Cyril is, I think, lets some of that come out sideways. And it turns into a bit of an argument. And maybe Lucille is trying to calm it down. And it's a little bit of a, you know how when things suddenly calm down and you have a second to breathe and you think everything's going to be fine, and then all of a sudden you start fighting with each other because you've been too focused on just like not getting eaten. And then with that relaxation, all the resentment. So there's a little bit of yelling and shouting and whatever. But the good news is that Cyril is successful in guilting Grace, or maybe just frustrating Grace enough that Grace will get rid of the hand-rolled cigarettes.
I killed for you, and you can't even quit for me.
Wow.
You you killed for me? You haven't done anything except quiver and say, "Oh, we can't hurt them. They're still humans. They're dead, Cyril. They're all dead already. You can't kill what's already dead."
We can try to save everybody. Aren't you a doctor? Did you take a Hippocratic oath?
Yeah, well, I think the oath's out the window, don't you think? Means nothing without the society to back it. How am I supposed to save anybody without any equipment?
How are you supposed to save anybody without any food? You've eaten it all.
Not all of it. There's still some. I saved you 1/2 of a Twinkie.
Oh, wow. 1/2 of a Twinkie. Whatever shall I do to show how grateful I am for it?
You could try thanking me for once, I guess.
Thank you for your 1/2 a Twinkie. It is the best thing you have ever done for me.
Not the time I pulled you away from those zombies. Not the time that I fixed up your ankle.
You broke my ankle. You landed on top of me.
There was like 85 branches on the way down. It could have been, back me up here, Lucille. Don't you think there were like 85 branches in the way? He fell first. I tried to pull him out of a ravine.
I mean, I guess there was a branch or 2 or something like that.
A branch or 2. See? Clearly evident. Just like it's evident all the zombies are dead.
They're not dead. They're right outside the door, looking to get in, and you're smoking.
Well, if we weren't talking so loud, they would have already left by now.
Okay then, let's be quiet. Throw them away.
Fine. And I will throw the bad cigarettes in the toilet where they just sit because there's no water.
Yeah, you can totally retrieve them later if you would like.
No, it's fine. The point was made. Then I assume we go huff in different areas.
Well, you've been arguing, making a bit of noise, which of course has attracted the zombies and has also been somewhat distracting. And of course, here's poor Lucille just like doing the tennis match. Like, do I take mom's side or dad's side, or mom's side or dad's side? Who do you want to live with? Who do you love more? Yeah, it's a real stressful situation for poor Lucille, who, let us not forget, is this close from having a breakdown. So that's fun. Maybe Lucille needs some of what's now sitting in the toilet. That might help you. But in the midst of this human drama, you are not, like, you do hear the sound of the zombies kind of and pounding on the outside of the house. But you aren't really paying attention until the gunshots start. Very close to the house. Pow, Pow pow.
I dive to the floor and quiver.
Keep low, but I guess head upstairs to try to see out because they have windows up there, right?
Yeah.
That we can actually see through as opposed to all the boarded up ones.
So Cyril just dives behind a couch. Lucille, what are you doing? Grace is gonna run upstairs to look. Lucille, what are you doing?
Also going upstairs to go to the window where that rifle is.
Cool. So Grace is gonna look out the window. Lucille's gonna grab that rifle. There is a 4x4. I don't know. Cars. Jeep. Some sort of 4-wheel drive vehicle. And it is still running. It is pulled up kind of into the front yard. And there is a woman behind the wheel. There is a kid. You're gonna guess like 8, young. It's hard to tell because the window's closed, and they've got a ball cap on, so it's hard to tell if it's like a boy or a girl. But in the back seat, there's clearly a kid who is like watching, almost like an excited look on their face. And then there is a young man standing. He's obviously gotten out of the passenger side, and he's braced up on the top, on the hood of this 4x4, and is taking care of the zombies. What do you do?
If possible, I'd like to help shoot the zombies to be like, look, we're friendly, we're on your side.
Cool. Yeah. There are a few bullets left in the rifle. So yeah, go ahead and give me a agility range combat. Please roll like 3 1s on your stress die as you open fire on them and kill them. Because that would be perfect.
Can I
We
push
have-
it?
Yeah.
We have boons if you want.
And we have boons. We have lots of boons. But you can
What
push it
would a
too.
major boon?
Reroll up to all of them.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll
Yeah,
the
you might as well.
normal ones.
Yeah.
Use major boon. That's 2 successes.
Cool. Yeah. One of them kind of comes around the corner of the house, the side of the house. He pivots but just kind of wings it, and it sort of spins around, and then you just catch it right between the eyes, and it drops. He kind of looks up at that window and kind of waves, smiling. Hey, we're back. Hey, just let me.
Longest errand in the world.
Yeah, let me take care of. God, there's a lot of them around. Hold on a second. Y'all good? You stick out your hand and thumb up. He kind of. I think it probably reads as a little bit odd to him. But he's busy. So yeah, they got a few more gunshots. Mostly because a few others have been attracted by the gunfire. And he waits for a second, kind of pop, knocks a few out. And then the truck or the SUV or whatever, you hear the engine stop. And then you hear, come on, quick, while they're distracted before they regroup. Hey, back door's locked. And then you hear some scrabbling around. The key is, hey, guys, let us in. Mom, Dad?
I will scrabble down, grabbing the note, I think.
Okay.
And head towards whatever door they're at to unlock it.
Cool. So you go to, well, first of all, you have to kind of pry off You might need some help to pry off the two bars that you've placed over the actual back door. So I think what happens is you do that as they, come on, guys, let us in. And he's being relatively quiet, but it's enough. And then you open that back door, and it is someone else. And he's looking through the glass of that secondary back door and immediately pulls out his gun and is, who the F are you?
Oh, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. We just got here. Your parents left a note. Timmy, or whatever the name said, right?
Tim, yeah.
Tim, right?
What did you do to my parents?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. Just get inside before they all come back out. Thanks for your help. But get in.
Why didn't you give me... so you can do empathy manipulation to be like, oh, it's all good. Or you could theoretically do empathy leadership to be like, we don't have time for this. You need to get inside.
It's manipulation.
Okay. We'll just see how good you are at taking charge of things. I mean, you're obviously better than him.
I am better than him. And because of that, I'm going to push myself. It's very stressful. He's pointing a gun at me.
Yeah.
How we doing, Dice? One success. Enough to get them in the door, maybe.
It is 100% enough to get them in the door. You can see him running the calculation because he's got a woman and a kid with him. But as far as he can tell, you aren't armed. And he says, if there's anybody else in there, I need you to get up against the far wall, hands where I can see them, or this is going to get really unpleasant really quick.
Yeah, no problem. Cyril, get off the ground and get to the wall. Lucille! Oh, wait, stop yelling. There are two other people in here. I'll tell them to do that. I think one of them's upstairs who was shooting. So I'll tell her to set down the gun, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Me remembering about zombies and
Yeah.
yelling.
And
suddenly.
I would say that probably helps because he does now realize someone was shooting zombies, not them.
Yeah.
So that probably helps a little bit. But he is very skittish. So we have as Lucille comes down, as Cyril stops cowering on the floor.
And cowers against a wall.
Cowers against the wall is dead. This guy comes in. He's got his gun in his hand, but it's down. The woman with him has a rifle slung over her shoulder, and as soon as she gets in, she pulls it out and covers you, and she keeps the kid behind her. And then he said, you better explain why you're in my folks' house. Where are they?
I hand him the note.
Okay, and he's real whatever, but then he takes it, he reads it. And how long have you been here? How long ago did they leave? They don't even have a car. Where do they go?
It says they went to the watchtower. But we arrived yesterday, stayed in the house next door. Went to check out this one because we saw a gun sticking out the top, and we thought someone was in here, and then a bunch of zombies came. Saw the note. So we've been here today.
The kid kind of reaches around and looks up, and you can tell it's a girl. Daddy, who ate all my Twinkies?
I'm so sorry that I ate all your Twinkies. It's been so long.
You're a
And
bad,
of course, her eyes are super red. So I'm sure he'll figure it out in a second.
And just the smell of this place. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we actually end with a little bit of a standoff. Like it doesn't appear there's going to be a firefight. But Grace, Lucille, and Cyril are going to have to convince these folks that they mean no harm.
It's everything Cyril ever wanted.
Yeah. And perhaps convince them to allow you to join them in going to a place of greater safety. if indeed it is a place of greater safety. Who knows? And this is a very sort of episodic thing. So we may see like Grace and Lucille and Cyril together again. We may see them separately. We may have flashbacks to how they died trying to save other people that we meet in future. Loosely interconnected, but this was, well, no, actually we did Zombie Minnesota and we did Breakfast Club of the Dead. So this is, I think, the third in an interconnected series of episodic tales, actually using different game systems, but all kind of loosely tied together into an exploration of what it's like when the world ends and then everyone wants to eat you. Cool. Let's go around and let everyone know where they can find folks next. Let's actually start with Twy this time.
Hello, I'm Twy. I've been playing Cyril. I have used my gun for evil and my flashlight for not much, and I have been very ineffective and dragged the entire party down. Sin.
I'm Sin or Sinful __ potato on Twitch. I stream on Twitch. We do fun stuff. Eventually, at some point during the week, at a point in time during the week, we stream. I have been playing Lucille, who has currently 3 for 3 in headshots or something like that, but couldn't hit a squirrel. I guess it's a smaller target, although the fish were probably also smaller targets. It's confusing. But also, I'd like to think that Lucille is like, because Lucille has 5 packs of strawberry gum, so like pull out some gum or try to pull out some gum and offer it to the child as a consolation prize for the Twinkies, and the mother probably like gets in the way because like it's like, oh, it looks like a gun. It's like, no, it's just gum. It ends it with an M, not an N. It's a different thing. Yeah, Misha.
All right. I'm Misha _lesson3. I've been playing Grace, who still doesn't know that Cyril did actually kill a zombie and wasn't just a cool double shot. And is super high and trying to attempt to lead a negotiation of them not getting shot by this super suspicious family. I think it'll be fine.
Probably be fine.
Yeah. As far as upcoming stuff, I got a poll up for scheduling things. It's kind of looking like next week Monday might be a winner, so we'll see what game will be there.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm Zero Daylight, Michael, whatever, narrator. And this has been, I think this is the first time we've played through the Walking Dead universe, but we are familiar with the system. It's the Free League system. It's the same one as Alien. It's a really good, robust, flexible system, really easy to pick up. And yeah, this has been kind of a sandboxy version, but there are, once you look at the complete rule book, you can play survival mode, you can play like resource management, base building mode, etc. So it's very much designed. The book as published is very much designed to enable people to tell stories and experience the world of The Walking Dead. We are using it more as a framework for kind of our own flavor of zombie apocalypse stories. So don't expect to meet Daryl or Rick or Michonne or anyone else like that as we continue this collective series of tales. And we will also be using The Real Thing as well as our own Survive rule sets, depending upon what era of the apocalypse. So when we are in the day one frame, that is when everyone's dying left and right, that is Survive. That is like maybe one person lives, but basically everyone's going to die. When we're in this kind of day 100 and that general area where things are really, really rough, but your small bands of survivors are trying to find themselves in more advantageous positions, we'll be using The Walking Dead. And as we're in the kind of year 3 or the 1,000-day frame, we'll be using The Real Thing, because that is very much about narratives and drives, and also frequent flashbacks to the life before that is part of character discovery and advancement, in fact. And that kind of nostalgia for the before times makes perfect sense to me in a zombie apocalypse world. Once you've gotten through the first couple of years and you're starting to think about how can we rebuild and what kind of life do we want to lead. So it'll be fun. We also have pickup games of Call of Cthulhu. We have pickup games of the traditional Survive, which is very much about 80s, 90s horror, sometimes 50s and 60s B movie horror. And of course, we have other ongoing series and systems and new systems we want to try out. So head on over to the Discord at cpluscontent.tv and check out the C Plus Next channel to get an idea of what's going on. Check out our drop-in game channels. Check out the Dice Porn and the place where we share our books and memes and talk about nerdy stuff. You can also, obviously, if you are on Twitch right now, you can go check out cpluscontent.tv, which is our YouTube channel. You could even, like it and subscribe to it and stuff. Subscribing over on YouTube is actually free, which is awesome. And then you can get notified, if you hit the little alert bell, you can get notified when we have new content available, which is usually about 24 hours after we stream live here. And yeah, stay in touch. Cool. Speaking of YouTube, we're going to say goodbye to our friends on YouTube, and then we'll come back here, try a little bit more, and then raid out to some of our friends on Twitch. So thanks everyone for playing. Thanks for the raids. Thanks for the boons and the banes and the chats and all that good stuff. And we will see you again soon. Bye-bye, YouTube.